God, this is like the 6th time I'm recording this. And I can already tell this is going to be an outtake or whatever. Part 1. There, in the aftermath of an unprecedented event, laid 4 planets. The catalyst of a new generation, created by the death of the one that came before it. Each planet would use the most prominent resources at its disposal to recreate life. For Planet 1, that was incredible amounts of heat and energy, combined with the fading remnants of instrumentality. Planet 2, on the other hand, was built up solely from what was left of music. It should also be noted that Planet 2 was the only planet that was fully alive and organic. It was later given the name Remnantium. Planet 3 was built from kinds of fuel, such as oil, heat, and electricity. It would also take energy from the supernatural and from the deceased. Finally, Planet 4, which didn't choose based on what it had the most of, but only what it found first. The planet also created 5 prime creation spots, unlike the rest, which just did it wherever they felt. These spots were a desert, an ocean, the underworld, a factory, and a cavern that was made of wood. Oh god, this one's even longer. Before we continue, I just want to specify that these parts are not in chronological order. I feel like that could help if anyone is interested in the lore. With that being said, Part 2. The species on the first 2 planets would title themselves before ever forming a government or economy. The monsters of Planet 1 would be known as WDC, or Willing and Dangerous Creatures. They called themselves this to display their pride and power. The monsters of Planet 2 would label themselves Musicians. It should be noted that Planet 2 was the biggest and very conveniently had every corpse left over from the aforementioned unprecedented event. These bodies helped to make the musicians develop much faster than the rest. It was long before they were traveling outside their atmosphere. They found the other 3 planets and instantly realized that they were easily the most advanced. They would dub the latter 2 planets Nitans and Our Melodies respectively. They then placed into their hands the task of sabotaging the other 3 so they could control all 4 planets and their resources. And yes, they decided this even before getting to know the monsters of the other planets. They dubbed this expedition of greeting and betrayal as Instruments and Music. Thank God I can almost be done with this. Part 3. It became increasingly obvious that the WDC and the musicians would go to war. While the musicians were far more advanced in every way possible, the WDC had an advantage: allies. The musicians had done a horrible job at concealing their master plan of global takeover, and thus the Nitans and Our Melodies opted to either side with the WDC or not get involved at all. While on paper it seemed like staying out of this battle would have been a far better idea, they knew that if the musicians won, they would not be able to defend themselves. Upon formally entering the war, they learned that both sides had been massively increasing their firepower by, quote, tampering with things that were never meant to be tampered with. Ray guns that give sentience and intelligence to inanimate objects, chambers that can completely reorganize a molecular structure, beams that can change the gravitational pull of celestial bodies, etc. By the way, hold on to that last one. It becomes important. The Nitans and our Melodies realized much more could be at stake here. When they told this to both sides, they both already were aware of the destruction they could cause. They were prepared and had been prepared for a long time.